The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Just like candy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ask for Candy, where a bunch of powerhouse men and women get together online and now in person to talk about love, sex, relationships, and what it takes to be amazing on the daily. Who I am, I'm Candice Harper, lovecoach.com, honey. I help hardworking women and couples who have survived abuse be vibrant, alive, magnetic, and passionate while creating healthy relationships. And I'm coming to you from the Wellville headquarters. As you guys know, we're now coming out of Wellville. This is our new partnership, and we're going to be having our conversations out of here. And let me tell you a little bit about Wellville. The headquarters on the east side of Manhattan, and it's an amazing organization that brings the health and wellness community together to connect, socialize, grow, and flourish. So if you want to be part of the inspiring and happiness supporting events, you got to go over to wellville.com and join. It's WELLVYL.com and join. I see Ashley Straw. Hi, honey. People are trickling in on the Facebook Live. And Wellville is a healthy, fun club for good people. So definitely join up. There's lots of really fun events, lots of face-to-face socializing in this digital age. And so, as you guys know, those of you who've been tuning in, the theme for this summer is Badass Bachelors. And everyone is welcome to come to the studio and join the conversation. Only a few will be invited to be special guests. So if you are a badass bachelor, stay tuned to the end to hear what all the criteria are. And, you can always reach out to me. Let me know if you want to be featured like our special guest today and our audience member who's going to be a special guest in the future. And I'll tell you all about these guys in a second. But first, happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. It's a rainy day here in New York. Hi, Denise. My love, how are you, honey? I see people are trickling in on the Facebook Live. Let me pull it up. I got to pull it up on the computer so that I can interact with you guys. It's like I'm always juggling all of the technology while also talking to you. And you can hear me out loud.
Here we go.
Right?
A little bit of an echo here.
Right? We're about to get live. So you are either listening on Armed Radio on the TuneIn app with your smart device, or you're in the garden on armedradioglobal.com. We're also on iHeartRadio, so don't forget to follow us and download your favorite shows. And then for the streamers, we're available on Spotify and on Spreaker. Or maybe you're live here with us on Facebook. I see Fawn, I see Fern, all my F ladies, my Fawn, my Fern, my Felicia, everybody's coming in. And tonight we're broadcasting on my personal page. Oh, the live video is interrupted. We're broadcasting on the personal page, and we're also going to be on my business page as soon as we start the time for sharing, which is Candice Harper Love Coach. If you're here on the Facebook, don't forget to pop on over, become a member of the group, Ask for Candy the podcast, and Armed Radio Group News, so you know when we go live. And if you have any comments or questions, you can comment on the post, or you can email us at askforcandypodcast@gmail.com, and those questions will be answered in a later broadcast. Let me just make sure that we're still rolling, because I see that it's saying live video interrupted. Will you do me a favor, Matt?
I broke it.
Did you break it, Jerry? Jerry's here for the first time.
Let me turn my cell phone off. Maybe it was an interference.
Right? He's here for the first time and he already broke it. Okay, we're
about to get thrown out of here.
What did you need me to do?
No, we're good now. I was going to have you do the computer stuff.
Gotcha.
But hi, Lee Schultz. Lee is here. My Lee who always comes. I know you're going to join in, honey. Hi, honey. Mwah, mwah. Kisses to you too. So this is the time where we take a moment to share before we share. So I want to share to the group, the Ask for Candy podcast group. And while we're sharing, you guys go ahead and join that. And you guys know you can share on your Instagrams or, wherever. I don't know. You can share in your groups, on your pages. I'm sharing in our group. Yeah, good. And what else? Where else can we share? You can share on Armed Radio. You can share on my business page if you'd like to. Like I said, I'm CandiceHarperLoveCoach.com. My talent is conversation, my passion is personal growth, and my purpose is to teach and inspire radical self-acceptance in myself and others so that we can all have our best possible love life. And that is why this is a conversation. We're not here to hand down a bunch of dating and relationship rules. I hate the rules, or the rights and wrongs. That's not what we're here for. We're not here to shame your love situation. Our only intention is to create audacious intimacy, seductive singlehoods, and healthy relationships. That's what we're here for. So tonight, and every Monday night, we're going to do what we do, which is have conversations that engage, educate, and or enlighten all of us in the areas of love, sex, relationships, and vibrating high. Yay!
Woo! Yeah.
You got to cheer for it. We got to do all that, right?
I missed the cue.
Right?
Where's the sign?
I just gave you all that information. You got to cheer it on. Okay, so to introduce our badass bachelor for the week, our very special guest, which is Matt Vanden Elst.
Hey, everybody.
Yay, Matt. So let me tell you a little bit about Matt. Full disclosure, Matt is a baby bachelor. He's a little bit of a young one. Because you guys know, those of you who listen have been paying attention, the call out was for bachelors over 35. I got a point to prove this summer. And the point is that there's still quality single men over 35 that are worth dating and worth knowing and worth being with. But you know what? A friend of mine was like, you got to talk to Matt. He's a really nice guy. So I was talking on the phone with Matt, and Matt's like, well, I'm only 30. I hope that's not a deal breaker.
Hey, I don't want to break any rules.
Right? Yeah, but you know what? It works because I feel like, I work with women that are around your age, and I feel like there's a story around the age of 30 that I'm getting old, getting over the hill, and all of that stuff. So it's also good to know that there are some badass bachelors out there who are young, young and available, good guys who are up to some good things. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You feel like you're that guy? You feel like you're up to good things?
I'd like to believe so.
I like to believe so too. So
you got to be up to some bad things too.
Right? That's true.
That I'm definitely up to.
We'll keep that for another podcast.
Right?
Another podcast? What?
We'll talk about all of that. So let me tell you a little bit about Matt. So, Matt is originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan, okay, but moved to Brooklyn, New York after college, and since then he's worked in many different areas of the entertainment industry. Currently, he is working as a production assistant for film and TV. Do you love that? Do you have fun?
I do. It's fun. It can be crazy and intense, but it's never boring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, cool. That's good. And also, what else are you doing? You're writing a book about your own dating experiences entitled Swipe Right, How the Internet Saved My Sex Life.
Yeah.
Which we're going to hear about later. We're dying to hear about how the internet saved your sex life. It's going to be all about porn. I know it.
I'm not spoiling the book. Then no one
Don't let out the secret sauce.
Right. So he
Spoiler alert, no. I do not talk about porn once.
No, really?
Actually, wait. Am I lying? I don't think so.
Oh, good. That's great. Okay, good. Then we're definitely going to talk about it.
Okay.
I'm interested. Okay, so then the other thing is that you produced and released a web series entitled Body versus Brain, where you play your body and your brain as dysfunctional roommates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sort of like a Felix Oscar kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah. Like it's kind of my brain dealing with anxiety, my body trying to be healthy and everything. There's only been a few episodes. I need to keep going, but I've been so focused on the book, and I'm the worst multitasker in the world.
Yeah.
I can't focus on more than one thing at a time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, and then you're also considering certification as a personal trainer. What's going on with that? Why are we in consideration about it?
Well,
are we tossing it around? Are we thinking it might be something? What?
I've been leaning heavily towards it lately just because, health and fitness is something that I really love. I'm really passionate about, and it's a job that in theory could let me make my own schedule on my own time, and I could feel like I'm helping people. I mean, in most of my friend groups, I'm known as the fit one anyway. People are always asking me anyway, so why not make a little money off that?
Right, that's true. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to get into the helping people thing and what that means to you as a person, just in general. Yeah. I feel like it's time to start the vulnerability quiz. Well, Jerry, we want to say hi to Jerry too.
Hi.
Jerry is our audience participant, and he's going to be in the conversation too. Jerry, do you want to tell the people a little something about yourself?
I'm here to listen to them.
Jerry on the spot.
You flatter me.
All right.
I want to hear all about this book.
Right.
And the only thing I want, or the only thing I would like, is to let everybody know I'm running the New York City Marathon on November 3rd. I got to raise some money. See me on Instagram, Gerard_Jerry_Gonzalez. Look at some of the videos that I'm putting out there. I'm just putting out videos providing value to help people losing weight. So I'm very interested in hearing about what you're going to talk about as far as your personal training.
Yeah, awesome. And
that's
Jerry,
badass right there.
That is badass. Jerry's coming back on the show later in the future too, and he's going to be able to tell us even more about your whole journey too, because we're going to hear about the training and the getting ready.
And I left half of me back there 4 years ago.
Yeah. Well, we were talking earlier. You lost like 70 pounds, right?
Yeah,
lost 70 pounds.
This is amazing stuff. We're going to have you back, Jerry. We got to get into your stuff too. All right, so we're going to start the vulnerability quiz.
Oh boy, where's my whiskey?
You're going to be the main one answering, but we can also chime in. Jerry, if you feel moved and something like speaks to you, I want you to also chime in too.
Whenever I get vulnerable, I cry.
Dude, that's perfect.
I don't think that would be good on this podcast.
It would be perfect. Here's the thing, and the guys have been watching, and everybody who's been, hi Brandon, hi my honey. Everybody who's been watching the podcast and following along with us knows that I've been saying for a long time that I wanted to get more male energy. I wanted to get more guys on the podcast because it used to be all women. We used to broadcast from a place called the V Club. So there you have it. Yeah. So it's like, it's good. You can be whoever you want to be, Jerry. If the tears come, let them flow.
Oh, fair enough. If you call me Robert McNamara, how are you, everybody?
I don't know who that is. See, it's guys. It's okay, Jerry. Those guys know.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, let's get started with Matt's quiz. Very first question. What are you passionate about, Matt?
Ooh, it's definitely an answer that has shifted at different times throughout my life.
What would you say, like, right now is like the thing that, like, you know, if it's brought up or if, you know, it's a cause or a person or whatever, that it's like, you know you're so passionate about that?
Well, I mean, I talked about health and fitness before. I'm very passionate about that, you know, both physical and mental health. And I guess the one thing, I live for supporting people, you know, encouraging them, like, you know, helping them realize that, you know, they can have the life that they want. They can live their best life, you know? Like, my friends always come to me to, like, say, oh, should I text this guy? I'm like, yeah. Why the fuck not?
Are you that guy? You're that guy for the girls? Like, they come and, like, ask you what they should do?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if I give them good advice. Because I'm very easysgoing. I say what would work on me, but I'm the single bachelor here, so I don't know what you want me to say to that. To anyone who I've led astray and you're not telling me, I'm sorry.
So you said you basically tell them what would work on you.
Pretty much, yeah. But that's something I really live for. You know, I love, like, being there for people when they're going through something, you know, supporting them, making sure they know that, hey, this isn't hopeless. Yeah. You know, as a very good friend of me said many years ago, and as I have tattooed on my arm, there are still days in the future.
Oh yeah. That's cool. Look at you, Matt, with your tattoos blazing. I saw this one too early. You can show the people on camera. The people on audio can't see. Matt has a very cool snake tattoo with white roses on it. Well, skin.
Can't really see. Yeah.
You can see roses of the snake. That's very cool. And tell us about that, because you told me something about what this meant, and I want you to share that with the people.
Okay, well, originally, it was an evolution of an idea. Originally, I wanted to do something, for a while, I wanted to get a tattoo with the yin-yang symbol, because I've always liked the idea of duality, exploring the different sides of each other, because, I mean, growing up, or going to school, rather, in, you know, a rather conservative environment, you know, you're always taught everything is black and white, good, bad, but the older we get, the more we realize it's so not like that, you know, there's shades of gray, but beyond that, it's, you know, like I always like the idea of the opposing forces in the world, you know, light, dark, black, white, male, female, they're not, like, in opposition to each other as, you know, people, I feel like we're almost led to believe, you know, they're in balance, they're in harmony, they're connected, they're working together, and I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to do the yin-yang symbol, but I kind of was looking through tattoo ideas, and I thought, black snake, you know, we have the serpent, the symbol of cunning, maybe deception, and then the white rose, love, purity, so I kind of thought, this could be a cool way to explore that without being quite so on the nose about it.
Yeah, I love it. Yay, Matt. Jerry, you got any tattoos?
Yeah.
No? I have one. I have a heart on my butt when I got when I I was 19 years old. But I love your description. I mean, when I was 19, what was that? Sometime in the early 90s. But here's the thing I feel like, and this is very much generalizing, I think the generation that you come from, in general, there's much more allowance of like spiritual and sort of abstract thinking.
I would agree with that.
More so than when I think me and Jerry were coming up. You're right, everything was right or wrong, black or white or whatever. But there wasn't a lot of like what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for, Jerry? There wasn't a lot of shades in the middle.
Yeah, like, there's not shades of gray. There's not.
You guys are much more like conceptual about life, about jobs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we're all looking forward for that golden watch.
Oh God.
Right?
I can't wait to hit my 25 years.
I mean, we're I feel like our parents were so serious about that. Like that, they were that generation, and we're the first generation. I'm Generation X, where it was like, you're allowed to kind of like explore some things. We went to therapy. We're the first generation that like actually talk to people about our problems. Some of us, I think, in this generation still struggle with that, still resist it and avoid it.
I did for way longer than I should.
You
have.
did?
But yeah, and I have been for about a year, which has been wonderful.
Yeah. I feel like, I have clients that are around your age, and when I work with clients around your age, they're just so much more receptive to all of it. And then, I get to the older chicks, and it's like, all right, look.
Yo, get that out of here.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about that crap.
Like, let's stop this right now. Like, the resistance is real.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, cool. All right. So what are the people on the Facebook saying? Angela says, hi, Candice. Hi, my love. I love it when you guys come in. Now, listen, I want you guys to also interact with the conversation. And you know that you're also welcome to be answering the questions in the comments, because it's just, more for us to chat about. I love that those peeps are here. Okay, so next question. What's your purpose?
Oh boy.
This one can be a hard one.
I know.
I feel like it can change.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know if I have exactly this one figured out. I think as long as maybe I can feel like I'm doing some good in the world, leaving the world in a better place than when I found it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's like I'm trying to win Miss America here, but like...
No, that's a good start. I mean, you got to kind of start general and then...
Exactly, yeah. And I don't know if I've figured out exactly how that looks. This year I'm kind of committed to, my own personal growth and development, and, to be honest, I'm trying a bunch of things and seeing what sticks in a lot of different ways,
That's awesome.
Like with the book, the web series, and things like that, and, I've started trying out, I work as a PA, I've started trying out for acting roles or background actor, which, that's something, but yeah.
Well, I think that's another thing too, like in younger years, and I don't even mean this to sound like, I'm so old and wise, but I do think that a lot of times, we're not necessarily taught that we can have that kind of exploration. And I feel like life is that kind of exploration.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, as you're getting older, there are some more things that you have to think of. You need a little more certainty, but the whole point of like growing through your adulthood is to be in exploration, and as long as you don't have any kids, you got to worry about.
Oh yeah,
like you know what I mean.
Which I do.
Well, you got kids to worry about. They'll come and find you. Don't worry about it. Especially if you're making money. If you're broke, don't worry about it. But if you're making money, they're gonna
find you. They're gonna you out. Right? But don't you agree, Jerry? Like in the time of your life where you don't have responsibility for others besides yourself, it's okay to like be in exploration.
I think you should always be exploring, because I think that's what makes life interesting.
Yeah.
I believe that if you feel that you know everything, then you're not learning, and then life is not interesting.
Yeah.
So that's even if you're married, even if you have children, that should be a goal.
Yeah. Earlier this year, I read such a great book. It was called Dark Horse. It was basically all about stories of people who kind of found their own path through the winding road instead of like the standard, okay, go to college, get a job, get married, and have 3 kids, like one of them, I forget the details, but a woman who became Prince's primary audio engineer, like he just basically said, I work with her or I don't record.
Wow.
Prince actually had a big reputation with that. He actually chose the attorneys, the accountants, and everybody that he worked with.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they were African American. He was very big with that. I actually knew legal secretary for his attorney. And he was huge with that. He used to handpick people, and those are the people
he also hired a lot of women.
That. Yes.
A lot of female musicians, technicians, and things like that too. Yeah. Awesome. That's cool. All right. Name something that you identify as a true expression of who you are.
Oh. What does that even mean?
Whatever you want to make it mean.
A true expression.
While you're thinking about that, I'm going to say hi to Rich and Jennifer who joined us. Hi, you guys. Jennifer and I went to high school together. Actually, in middle school.
I guess, I guess maybe a couple of things I want to mention. I talked about this tattoo. There are still days in the future. And I think, and there's a whole story behind that one, but I think to me, it's a mantra of hope and everything. And one thing I've always prided myself on is I'm very adaptable. I can, obviously there's a bit of a learning curve, and I'm maybe arguably a slower learner than most, but I can adapt to any new situation.
Yeah.
Or anything, I've worked so many different jobs. I've been in the corporate world. I've been a busboy at an oyster bar. Now I'm working in film and everything, and I might go into personal training. It's something I'm very good at rolling with the punches.
Yeah. What if something came along and it was like, okay, you have to completely move to another city? You're like, hell yeah, we should do it. Yeah.
It's like, all right, when's my flight?
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the other one, which maybe kind of ties into that, it was something my mother told me when I first got into film production, which I fell into that one. I got let go from a corporate job where I was working marketing for a camera company. I absolutely hated it. And I'm kind of abridging the story, but basically that same day I met up with a friend of mine who worked in this, and I told him I got let go, and he's like, oh, don't worry, man, that place sucked, you hated it, you'll find something else.
Yeah.
And since I just lost my job, I proceed to drink copiously, as one does. And
of course.
Yeah, so
that's what happens.
Yeah, and I'm very drunk at this point. But then my friend gets a call, and apparently it was from a producer saying, hey, we could use someone else to jump on the shoot tomorrow. You know anyone? He's like, yes, I do. He's like, so I got you a job. We start tomorrow at 9. I'm like, what? Okay, cool, great.
Yeah.
And then I told my parents, and I don't know why. I always think my parents are going to be less supportive than they are. I have zero reason to believe this. They are the most supportive people in the world. And I told them about it. It's like, yeah, I was in the middle of the job. My parents called me, and I just said, yeah, Focus let me go. But, I started this new thing, and, it could be interesting. I'm working. I'm working on film sets. It's 12-hour days. It could be freelance and everything. And my mom said something to me I'll never forget. It's like, Matt, you were never meant to lead a normal life.
Wow. And how did that land on you? How does she, she was just pulling that from, something that happened when you were a child? Or, why does she feel like that? That's cool.
She didn't go into too much. I think she kind of did. She brought up when I was a baby. I forget why she said that, but the nurses even said, just as a kid, for probably his whole life, he's just always going to want to do things on his own time. No one's going to be able to make him do anything before he's ready, or no one's going to be able to rush him, do anything. And that's what she talked about. But I think I don't know. I guess I've always kind of been the person that has liked to march to the beat of my own drum.
Yeah. So now let me ask you this, because I feel like this is something that is often told and often said as far as relationships are concerned and things like that. And it's going to seem like I'm segueing into something else, but based on what you were telling me about being adaptable and changeable and also being in exploration right now, a lot of times they say that men in general like to be at some sort of space of having figured out what it is that what their ultimate goal is, maybe figured out their purpose, figured out their job situation, whatever, have some structure in their life before they're willing to actually fully commit. Like there's theory. There's a lot of theory out there about that, and there's some things that sort of back that up. Where a man likes to have his ducks in a row, where they're actually willing to commit. So where does that put you as far as like the relationship spectrum? If you were to meet a girl that just was like ready to roll with it, like you are right now, are you in a headspace where you'd be like, okay, I could actually fully commit, or maybe even marry you, even though I'm exploring things and things like that?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think he was about to run out of the room.
Right.
I gotta go. I heard the M word. Oh my god.
There's a girl in the back with a ring.
You know what?
We have a judge right over there. We're gonna consummate this tonight.
If you're ready.
Oh my god.
You
know what? I would say there's definitely some truth to that. I'm definitely not in a place where I'm necessarily looking for anything super serious right now. Yeah. But the truth is, when it comes to dating and anything, I never want to close myself to anything. Gotcha. You know, the way I like to think about it is, I'm not, and even when I have all my ducks in a row, whatever, I like to think that I'm not looking for anything, but I'm not ruling anything out.
Gotcha.
You know? Okay. So, like, yeah, maybe. And I guess it kind of goes, and we were talking about this earlier, the right people come to you when you are right, you know? So,
or even ready.
I like the word ready. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, do I expect it to happen? Maybe not necessarily, but if it happened tomorrow or as I walk out of this podcast, I'm not going to just walk away from that either. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I also think that generally speaking, men aren't necessarily wired to be thinking about their dream person. It's almost like, let me get myself to where I want to get myself to.
I'd agree
with that. And have a woman come in who aligns with what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, that just sounds selfish as fuck, man.
Candice, we all have dreams, but that's in a different dirty podcast.
But no, I think there is some truth to that, though. Yeah, you know, I think, and I don't think it's just men by any means, but.
Well, and smart women too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I feel like if you're out there and you're single, the best thing that you can be doing is your relationship with yourself, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And like really 100%. getting to a place where what you're doing, you're so passionate about it that you're not even attached to the person, but you're not going to let somebody come in who can't align with what you're doing.
Exactly.
Right? You want somebody who's like on board and can roll with what you're up to.
Right.
Like that's the compatibility.
Yeah, and I think it kind of goes back to the idea that, you know, people say, oh, you know, don't worry about being single and everything. And, you know, that's very much easier said than done, but I think there's truth to it.
We still want to have sex and cuddling and...
Oh, yeah, of course. Exactly. But sometimes I think that it's like, if you are unhappy being single, then single is exactly what you should be.
I love that.
You know, like, because the moment you're okay and like happy being single, that's when the right people will come to you.
Yeah.
And if you are unhappy and you do attract another unhappy person, times that by three.
You just sent a cold shiver down my spine.
Take it easy.
Seriously, it's the worst thing in the world.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay. So what is your deepest romantic desire, Matt?
Ooh.
And then we're going to get into the title of your book and why the title is the title.
All right. I guess, you know, as much as maybe I was saying earlier that, you know, maybe I'm not necessarily looking for anything serious right now, ultimately, I do want to meet the one person that I can spend the rest of my life with. You know, I want to meet someone who's, you know, got their own goals, their own dreams. You know, we can build and support each other in building our own selves and our own kind of empires, whatever you want to say.
Go together.
And and definitely someone that, you know, we can keep the passion high and alive the whole time. You know, I want me and my wife to be in our 70s and at someone's wedding, and we're still sneaking off to go fool around in the closet. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want.
Okay. All right, cool. cool. That's good to know. That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about, I mean, obviously I don't want you to give away the whole, a whole spoiler, but how did you come about the internet fixing your sex life?
Well, it's really as simple that, I mean, before I started, getting on like dating sites, dating apps, I never really had that much luck, to be honest. And not like no luck, I had a girlfriend for a year in college and everything, but, I didn't date at all in high school, barely at all. Before I was 24, you could count the number of first dates I've had on one hand and everything. But I don't know, I think it was, and I'm still not exactly sure how to describe how it was. I think, well, I mean, basically it's, going online, it just transformed my dating and sex life to something that I never thought it was. When I was younger, I didn't have much confidence in myself, and for many reasons. But being single was the thing. Like most people, that I was fixated on.
Do you think the medium of the computer helped you because it was a degree of anonymity? So it's like, well, I mean, I remember going to bars and hitting on women, and it was like, at first, sometimes you fail, but sometimes it's just like, okay, you're on, but you got to practice at it.
You know what? For me, like, Tinder was a godsend because to me, I think it took out so many layers of ambiguity. Like, for me, like, when you're someone who's in your own head and just, like, overthinks as much as I do, like, when you meet someone, it just brings a cascade of anxiety-inducing questions. Like, say you start talking to someone and they seem to like you. Wait, you have to ask yourself, wait a minute, is talking because she likes me? Is she just as a friend, or is she interested in me? Wait a minute, is she flirting with me now? Does she flirt because she wants me to ask her out, or is she just naturally a flirty person? Like, But then say you get to a point where
there's no ambiguity on Tinder. They're talking to you, they like you.
No, that's
like they're like Matt Bobono.
No, that's the thing though. You match with someone on Tinder, you can reasonably assume that they find you attractive enough to consider going out with you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let me say hi. Yeah. Like that kind of thing, I think that's the thing that helped me a lot.
Well, so would you say that being able to have that sort of like that step in between was sort of a confidence builder?
It absolutely was.
Yeah.
And it actually, at different times, it actually helped me meet people like in real life. Like it was like practice almost. I'd go on a few dates there, get my confidence up a little bit, and then the next thing I know, I'd just talking to someone at a party, and it's like, all right, we should grab a drink sometime.
Yeah.
That kind of thing,
Now, what happened? Because I feel like when Tinder first came out, and I think I was on it for about 5 minutes, and I so lost my patience.
Which those were probably the most.
Oh my gosh! But like, they were so. I mean, I would get these emails, and it was just so like quickly very forward for me. I was just like, instantly saying things or like.
That's the thing. I think it worked better for me because, I'm not dealing with men on dating.
Yeah, very rarely are you going to find a woman that aggressive. Be like, hey, Matt, come to my house now.
Or DTF. That was something you get on Tinder, DTF.
I won't say I never found that, though.
Hey, that's good, man. Let's rock.
That's the thing about Tinder. I feel like Tinder is more of a hookup app. Like as opposed to like...
It was trying to be, but... I just think it became not that.
Really? So now people actually find real love on Tinder.
Oh yeah, like my most long-lasting relationship I found on Tinder.
Really?
Yeah.
What was your most long-lasting relationship, Matt?
I mean, it was only about a year and a half.
Okay, well, I mean, for 30, that's a good. Yeah. Huh. Did you do any other apps?
Yeah, I eventually gravitated more towards OkCupid.
Okay.
I think I like that one better.
Yeah. Because I feel like with that one, at least, there's certain ones that you get to really tell a little bit more about yourself. And I don't know if that's just a woman thing. I personally like being able to say some things in my profile.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like Tinder doesn't give, like,
no,
you can't say very much.
It's so limited. That's the thing. I was on a date with a woman once, and she put it very well. Like, if she found someone on Tinder who she considered, like, 6 out of 10, if she found the same person on OkCupid but with a fully fleshed out, they would jump up to an 8.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, oh, you're a real person. You have interests. I can talk to you about this. That kind of thing,
I got it. What about you, Jerry? What's your thing with the dating apps? Into it?
Well,
do you do it?
What's a dating app?
Huh?
Is that like an application? Like,
Like,
hi, how
no,
you doing?
like
I'm
you were
Jerry.
talking
No,
about.
I'm only kidding. I'm only joking.
I don't know dating apps.
Can we go to a singles bar? I'll get you a martini.
Oh my god.
I've tried Tinder. I never met anybody on Tinder. I primarily use Match.com.
Okay.
I actually used Yahoo Personals before I became Match.com. And most of the people that I met were on Match.com. But then I started to gravitate away from that and just meet women out.
Yeah.
A little old school like that. Hey, would you like to dance? Get together, bailar. Come on, let's go.
Can you salsa, Jerry?
I can dance salsa.
Jerry can salsa, girls.
That's helping you right there.
Right.
That's the whole reason why I learned how to dance salsa. I saw this ugly guy dancing with these women. I'm like, yo, I can do that. Talk to her.
I'm sure
I'll have
they
a reason to tell you, yeah, I love that.
Right? If a guy can twirl you around and do a little salsa dancing, yeah, that ups the points.
I mean, as they say, some men work with the lips, some men work with the hips.
I love that, Matt. All right, so what else? What else do we want to ask you, Matt? Who do you admire most in your personal life?
Ooh. I mean, there's a lot of people I admire. I think right now there's two people I'd like to talk about. One of my really good friends, her name is Melanie Walter, and her older sister, Monica Palmieri. They're originally from Guatemala. They came here. They came to New York to work in the film industry, and I've worked with them a lot. They are some of the most badass women I've ever met. Yeah. They have done so much good work. And they're such an advocate for women and diversity on the cast, and they definitely put the safety and well-being of the crew first, which and I don't know, maybe the mainstream media doesn't really hear about it too much, but a lot of times on set, concern for the crew is lacking by like a lot of the higher ups, but they kind of make sure that is a priority for them. Yeah. And I love them to death. They're absolutely wonderful.
Oh, that's awesome. And I love that they're women. You admire most. What accomplishment are you most proud of?
To bring it back to what we were talking about before, I'm pretty proud of the fact that I've been able to transform my mentality when it comes to like dating and relationships so much.
Oh, talk about that, yeah.
Well, like I said earlier, growing up, I wasn't confident in this area. I guess in a broad sense, you could probably have considered me what is known as an incel. Someone who wanted to get laid, couldn't.
Yeah.
But
were you mad about it? Were you like those guys?
No, I wasn't.
Were you like those guys, Jerry? No.
Well, I wasn't. I was never that like that. I was definitely kind of depressed about it, but I never blamed women for it. Okay. I never said like, oh, they suck, they only like that. I did kind of internalize a lot of that, say like, oh, this is on me. I'm, not good enough, which is not the healthiest way to do it. But, this is probably a terrible message to send, but it did eventually say like, okay, look, you're obviously not a guy who can attract the kind of women you want. Mm. You can either bitch and moan about it, or you can do something about it.
To be that guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
change your identity.
Exactly. That was when I started going to the gym, watching my diet more. I started just kind of focusing on my career and just working on myself. That was my motivation. And, even when I kind of got over that, the crazy thing is I didn't want to stop these improvements, because it's just like, wow, I actually just like this version of myself.
Yeah.
I just did it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, like you grew into yourself. It's that thing when you're working on your relationship with yourself and who you are and self-care and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
All of a sudden you're like, I'm pretty good on my own.
Exactly. Eventually
Which makes you even more attractive.
Yes.
and eventually I got to a point, it's like, you know what? Being single is kind of awesome. Which,
whatever I want.
Caused its own problems, but
that's cool. I love it, Matt. So what is your most desired future vision?
My most desired future vision? I think I'd like to get to a point in my career where where I can kind of work and basically just live life completely on my own terms. Not be beholden to anyone else's schedule but my own.
Financial freedom.
Financial freedom, and it doesn't even need to be a lot of money, just enough that, I can kind of do my work at my own pace, again, feel like I'm doing some good in the world, and, working for myself in some way. And, I don't know exactly what that looks like. Again, I've kind of thought about, the personal trainer could be a route to that, or at least kind of building onto it. But who knows how I'll feel next week, You know what I mean?
No, totally. Have you ever heard of that thing called remote year?
Remote year. I was actually just talking about it with someone this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so fascinated by this concept. It's like where you pay a certain amount. I think it's like $35,000 or
something like that.
And for the entire year, you travel the world, and it's really good. They say it's really good for laptop entrepreneurs and people who have jobs where they can be remote.
Right.
But they plan out your entire itinerary for the year, and I think you stay 2 weeks to a month in each
place.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah.
I think it's such a bomb
I'm a smarty.
I think it's such a fantastic idea. I feel like, especially for someone who's in an exploration place and is like, what do I want to do next?
For sure.
You just get to experience other countries and cultures, and it's almost like an eat, pray, love kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd love to do that, and I only just recently kind of did my first kind of traveling for the sake of traveling this year, just for my 30th birthday. So
where'd you go?
I spent 2 weeks in Europe. I went to Barcelona, Rome, and Amsterdam.
Oh, nice! You had a good time.
Oh, it was amazing.
That's awesome. Okay, what is something that you always do when you're alone?
What I'm always do when I'm alone.
Improve your sex life with the internet. I'm kidding.
Well, true, but
You like Bachelors? Oh, I gotta go now.
But oh man, well, to be honest, I don't always do this when I'm alone. When my coworkers never let me forget this. I definitely just sing.
Okay.
When I just sing at the top of my lungs, whatever, without even.
Are you a good singer, or are you just like?
I like to think I'm pretty good. I was a choir boy through high school and college.
You want to sing a little something?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, this is kind of my go-to, but
okay.
In the still of the night, I held you tight. Oh, I love you so. Promise I'll never let you go in the still of the night. Thank you.
Ladies, come on. Oh, thank you, Matt.
On a first date, that's golden.
Right?
Oh, that's worked wonders.
That's a panty
Little
dropper.
tip, guys. Little tip.
Okay, what's something that very few people know about you?
Oh man, very few people.
Speaking of first dates, by the way, that Jerry just said, and I said this last week, these questions are also good for first dates. So those of you who are just out there going out and stuff, and especially when the conversation lulls, ask some of these questions, because they're not too attached. It's not like you're I'm making you my man or I'm making you my woman, but you get to know a person when they're talking about themselves like this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Something a lot of people don't know about me. One thing, I'm kind of resurrecting the anime fan that I was in high school.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Growing up, I watched all the classics, Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Wing, Rurouni Kenshin, and I kind of took a break from it, but I'm kind of resurrecting it. I don't know, maybe it's turning 30, reconnecting with my childhood midlife crisis thing. But I still love it.
That's cool, though. I mean, I totally get it, because I'm well into my 40s. I love comic books and stuff.
Right?
I used to write a comic strip.
What?
No, totally. Yeah.
What was it about, or what was it?
It was called Nistas, and they're still online. There's a Facebook page for it, and it was basically short for fashionistas, or whatever Nistas, whatever they were into. And it was me and my friends, based on me and my friends being single in the city, and just little bits about that.
That's awesome.
And I'd draw the illustrations and do a little little dialogue bubbles.
And that's another thing I love living in 2019, you know? The things we got beat up for in high school, now that's like the cool shit.
Not only just 2019, but also 2019 in New York City. Like, I almost moved to New York because I knew I was weird. Right? I could come here and just kind of do whatever it is that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That people wouldn't necessarily think I would be into. I could be into it, and here in New York.
Oh, exactly. I always remember I was reading one of the I guess this isn't the technical name of the books, but like the Game of Thrones books, the Song of Ice and Fire, and like this big jacked, like could have easily been everything you would expect like a frat bro to be, just like, bro, that's so good, isn't it? Isn't that so good? Yo, the red wedding, bro. I was like, I want to stay away from the red wedding. It's like,
but you bonded on it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It was like, you bond with people that you don't, especially in New York. It's like we're all
it's amazing.
Different, loving the same things. Okay, what is something that you feel a little guilty about?
A little guilty about.
Yeah.
Guilty about.
Nothing that'll get you in trouble. We don't want this used in a trial.
No. I'm trying to.
Maybe something you did when you were a kid and you kind of never came clean about.
You know what? My first girlfriend in college, I could have handled our breakup a little bit better.
Did you text breakup?
No,
okay.
no. We were very kind of on and off near the end, and a lot of that was on me. She was kind of all in. I was kind of wishy-washy. I wasn't sure if I wanted. I knew I didn't want the level of commitment that she was ready for. Which that's no one did anything wrong, but like, oh god, it was.
You just weren't there.
Yeah, it was bad. Like we dated my junior year in college, and she was a senior, and but then in the summer I was actually interning in New York for Sony Music, and she spent all her graduation money to come visit me, and it was a great weekend. It was, but then a couple weekends later, I'm just starting to think, wait a minute. I'm in a long distance relationship in New York City. This kind of sucks. So long story short, we took a break and we would revisit once I got back. And I fully expected to break up with her once we met up, but kind of got caught up in the passion again, got back together, broke up after a week.
Okay.
And that was it. So
you actually broke up with her face to face.
Oh yes, I did.
What's wrong with that?
Because it was like this one thing that like, she was prepared that we were ending. Then I gave her hope again, and then it's just like I was just so hot and cold about it. Like I should have just I should have just had the stones to end it. When part of me knew it should have been. And I mean. I'll always regret having doing that, and
well, it's not like you chased her and she was like no, and then you pursued it.
Please come back.
You want to get into that? You're like, well,
I feel like I might have done that.
little flowers, little candy. Next thing you know,
maybe, but still, I feel like I could have been a little more mature about that.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, I mean, it is a big deal that you did it face to face like a man, but also I'm a big believer that every rejection is a favor, and it might have taken you a minute to come around to it, but the doing of it, like I think a lot of times when people break up with people, and this is why people avoid it for so long, or they do the hot and cold thing, is because they think it's the worst thing in the world they can do to somebody. But really, if you're not in it, it's the best thing in the world. That other person might not feel it in that moment. But it's the best thing in the world you can do for somebody.
No, and now she's married with a kid. I couldn't be happier for her. Are
you guys still friends?
We haven't spoken. We're Facebook friends, but no, not really.
But she's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, you did her a favor. She's probably so happy, loves her kids, doing it, and you're on your own thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Look at how fast the time goes. We're already at 51.
Good Lord, really?
Yeah. Okay, hold on, because I want to make sure that we get to some things. I'm going to do one more question. I'm going to do two more questions.
Got it.
And then I'm going to let you plug whatever you want to. You can tell people how to find you and all of that stuff. I'm going to do a little bit of plugging. We'll let Jerry do a little bit of plugging because Jerry's coming on in the future. We're going to have Jerry pick a date for when he wants to come. Who's your celebrity soulmate, or even just a sexual crush?
Got it.
Who is that?
Ooh, that one is easy. Kirsten Maldonado, one of the singers from Pentatonics.
Oh,
she's the only girl, but oh my god, she's so gorgeous
and talented,
and a voice. Oh my god, and you know, she's in an a cappella group, which just makes my inner choir boy happy. Like, oh my god, listen, Kirsten, if on the chance you're watching this, listen, call me, okay?
And it might take him a minute, but when it's time to break up, he will do it.
Throw your phone number out there.
Kristen, you gotta listen. And then the other question is, what's your personal theme song?
My personal theme song?
Mm-hmm.
I would say my favorite song is Sound of Silence, the Disturbed version.
Okay.
Yeah. But my theme song?
What's that song that, like, every time you hear it, you know, you like get into your, like, mine is Stevie Wonder's Don't You Worry About a Thing. Like, I'm in my mode if I'm hearing that song, because then I'm worried about shit.
Got it. Let's see. I would...
Even if it's corny, Matt, you can
I know.
Don't filter it.
No, I'm just trying to think. Like,
you have one, Jerry?
Oh, West Side Story, I'm so pretty.
You do that in the mirror, right?
Oh, of course. I have a red dress and everything.
I would have to say... I'd have to say... Again, another pentatonic, Standing By.
Standing By.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's one to look up, because I've heard of them, but I don't know if they're very, like, they have a lot of viral videos.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they're very big in the YouTube space.
Yeah, that's cool. Mm-hmm. All right, Matt, so tell people where they can find you, or where you'd like for them to find you or follow you. Or,
okay, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at NerdFaceJockBody.
I love that.
You know, it's that came from a lot of women telling me my face doesn't match my body. And you know, my business, I guess feel free to friend me on Facebook, Matthew Van Den Elst. My business page is Matt Van Den Elst. And, you know, stay tuned for the book. It'll be called Swipe Right, How the Internet Saved My Sex Story. Or Swipe Right, How the Internet Saved My Sex Life. It will probably be self-published on Amazon or something like that. So stay tuned.
Yay. Thank you so much, Matt.
Hey, thank you for having me. This was a hell of a lot of fun.
Right? You were a very fun guest. Hopefully you will come back to another show just to be part of the audience, part of the conversation like our friend Jerry did today. Yeah, and Jerry, we're going to have you on the show in the future.
Excellent.
Right? So be thinking about what your personal theme song really is.
Oh, fair enough.
And don't...
what do you
Wait, you're not being sincere?
I love the West Side Story. I still have the record.
So yes, thank you guys for being here and being part of the conversation. And those of you who are on the Facebook Live, thank you guys so much. So I want to tell you about a couple things. You guys know that my 12 week intensive Get Right with Mom for the Sake of Your Love Life is coming up very soon. So for those of you who have been surviving a painful or abusive mother-daughter relationship, you can move the past out of the way, throw out the emotional baggage, become vibrant, alive, magnetic, and passionate while creating the love life that lights you up and supports your happiness. So if you're interested, you can click the link on my business page. There's a questionnaire. You apply. We have a little free call. We talk, see if it's a fit, no sales, just to see if it's something that's right for you or not. Or you can send me a private message on the Facebook through my business page or my personal page, Candice Harper Love Coach. Follow me on Instagram at Candy Love Coach. And also tonight, I want to take a quick moment to invite those of you in the tri-state area to a really fun event that I'm hosting on June 30th. A healthy chef friend of mine and a friend of the show. I don't know if you guys remember, those of you who've been watching the whole time, Chef Keisha Ogaldez. She does pop-up restaurants, and she's doing one in Red Hook, Brooklyn, and she always has amazing life-giving recipes. And so it's a brunch. It's called the Urban Oasis, and I'll be hosting. You guys know I always do connective games and it's almost like, it's more like a family meal, because I make sure that everybody gets to know each other and, you know, like, and trust each other before they sit and eat together and talk about the really delicious food. And if you go, I'll put the link in our comments, or the link in the description, and the link on my business page. And if you go and use the promo code AskCandy, you get $10 off the ticket, right? Woo! Yay! love $10 off. And then also, you guys know this year's theme or this summer's theme is the Badass Bachelor. So I am focusing on like guys like Matt, guys like Jerry, guys like Chris, who we had last week, all the good men out there, for any of us ladies that still buy into the sad statistics and walk around fulfilling our own prophecy. I want to prove to myself and all the ladies out there that there are good, quality, sweet, wonderful men for any stage of your life, any age. It's possible. It's possible as a matter of your belief that it is possible. So, you know, my whole summer's theme is about being able to, you know, show you guys that. And myself too. And I gotta tell you too, just in deciding to take this journey, I've been confronted with all my own dating shit. And I got a lot more of it. I got a lot more of it than I thought I had, because, you know, I'm in the space of like finding these guys and having to make requests of these guys and, you know, ask them to give me dates and which that is so not my wheelhouse. Like as a single girl, I like to be chased a little bit, but I have to like reach out, make phone calls, you know, make appointments with them. It's like, you know, making dates, and, you know, everybody's personalities kinds of shows up. So recently I had a guy who was going to be on the podcast, and for like almost a month I thought he was a single guy, and then he said, by bachelor you mean not married, right? I'm like, yeah, not married. Like
Hold on. This guy didn't know what the word bachelor
he
meant.
didn't know what the word bachelor meant. He didn't know what it meant. And he's actually
I don't know how to react to that. That's concerning.
It's like asking a woman, "Are you single?"
Exactly.
What do you mean?
Exactly.
Guys, bachelor
Party.
Oh, how do you not know?
Exactly. Hello. So, but here's the thing. What he was trying
I'm going to
to
use that.
he was trying to be on the podcast and not be completely single because he just wanted to be on the podcast, or, you know, for whatever reason.
If he's married, it's a bad idea.
Right? It's a bad idea. Or if you're in a relationship, it's a bad idea. Hold on, I got to say goodbye to the Armed Radio people because they poked us that they're going out, but the Facebook Live people, I want to finish telling you the criteria. Bye, Armed Radio people. I love you. Thank you for being here. Never forget you're a love machine. If you ever start to feel like you're not getting enough, just make more. Ask for Candy. I love you guys so much. Now for the Facebook Live people, yes, I want to tell you, the Badass Bachelor, you have to be 100% single, not dating one person. You can be actively dating, but not dating one person, not in a relationship, not married, you know, ready to date, and